How is my quarantine treating me today?
Yeah. How is it
Quarantine.
treating?
Do you know that quarantine apparently means something to do with 40 days?
Yeah, that's what the quarter of
Quarter.
a year. Yeah,
Quarantine.
quarter
So we're
core.
going to be, yeah, we're here for a long time. We're only halfway through our quarantine.
I think we're less than that, to be entirely honest with you.
Probably. I don't, I actually went outside today. Like not just a few minutes ago, went upstairs and I'm like, I just walked outside to the porch and I'm like, wow, it's a nice day out.
It's yeah. You know what? Every other April is like 3 feet of snow every day.
Yeah,
When we're stuck and can't go anywhere, it's like this is freaking gorgeous out.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, I'm standing there out on my porch and I'm looking at my car and I'm thinking, I haven't actually left the house in 3 weeks. Three
Yeah,
weeks,
it's weird.
Tico. I haven't even been. I went for a walk with my wife like a week ago. We went out for a walk, and I think that was the last time I actually went outside. But
Yeah.
to
Well, I mean,
actually
that's.
leave the house and go somewhere, it's been 3 weeks.
I have gone for groceries a couple of times, but that is
See,
it.
my wife does the groceries before even coming home,
Well, yeah, and it makes sense
right?
because she's already out doing that.
Yeah.
Whereas, like Shannon hasn't left the house in like 5 weeks.
Is she feeling cooped up now?
Well, they've been going for little walks and stuff like that. But yeah,
It's just, oh my gosh, I don't. It's so bizarre. Like I don't even. Oh.
have you started your car?
No, I was actually thinking about that. Like, should I
Yeah,
go
you should.
start my car and make sure it's still going to run? Kind of get everything moving?
Yeah, you should just to keep like otherwise like the lines will dry out and stuff like that. So you should start the car and just let it idle for like 5 minutes, like
Yeah, I was wondering
once
about
every
that.
2 weeks or so.
They're going to lift the quarantine. I'm going to go to work.
Oh, I gotta go out.
My car doesn't start. It's only been a
And it,
year.
and then everybody's cars won't start. So like you'll call like AAA, they'll be like, yeah, we'll be there
Next Tuesday.
next November.
Oh my gosh. All right, are you ready to do a show?
I am ready to. You know what we should do for our shows moving forward
What?
is we should just do like our show, but like live stream some gameplay. Like should play Division
While we're doing a show?
just while we do the show. We can just talk about our stuff while we play
Do
Division.
you know how hard? You realize that remember we used to do that for Extra Life?
Yeah,
Right? With you and Jeff, and we would go play Destiny while trying to do the show.
yeah.
It's not easy to do. It's not easy to concentrate on what you want to talk about while you're playing a game.
It's not easy, but it is possible.
Yeah, but is it?
I'm just thinking because like that's like the Division 2 basically. Division is they predicted this.
Oh, I know the division in New York. I keep seeing the news reports of New York suburbs in quarantine. I'm like, I've played this game.
Yeah, it all started with a virus. It was passed around on money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it went to DC for Division 2.
Yeah,
But all right,
same virus, but yeah,
let's. What was that?
it was the same virus.
Same virus. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. 7 months
Yeah,
later is Division 2.
yeah.
All right. Let's start the show, shall we?
Why the heck not?
All right. Let's just jump in.
You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody. It is episode number 364 of the OMG Hour. I just realized I forgot to put that in our notes. Of course, this is the isolation episode. We are on week 4 of our isolation, and I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I am Tico, Mr. Second Place, contemplating cutting my own hair at this point.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point. It's starting to feel like too long, and I'm like, do I just go for it and a full Sean up top.
No, you don't want a full Sean going on here. No.
I don't know. It's getting to the point where it's getting
You
long,
could
and I'm like,
go for a full Colin Mockery.
Colin Mockery,
Yeah.
reverse mohawk, leaving the sides.
That's right. That's straight down the middle. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna get to the point where it's gonna get like that. I mean, I'm at the point where job interviews are sort of drying up because people are closed. So I don't have to look good. If I do have a job interview, it's probably going to be a phone interview.
Right.
So
You just
do
need
I
to look.
really
You just need to look good from the midriff up.
Yeah.
Right.
And not even that. If you like some of the Zoom settings, you can put like backgrounds. Maybe you can put like a suit on you. I saw this one where
Virtual suit.
some woman using Zoom used one of the settings to change herself into a potato for a meeting as a joke, and then couldn't figure out how to set it back. So she did the entire meeting as a
Great.
potato.
Nice. Excellent. Oh
Yep.
man.
So there's some good stuff out there. Zoom's doing quite well for themselves.
Oh my gosh, Zoom is like everywhere. I know Zoom. Apparently, and I didn't know this, but Zoom's been around a while.
Oh yeah.
I had literally never heard of it, and all of a sudden, it's just everywhere now. Oh, let's use Zoom. Let's do that. Like churches are using Zoom to have virtual church services now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is Zoom? What is like? And I don't know. I didn't even know it was a thing until like 2 weeks ago.
Yep. A lot of the schools, the universities are using Zoom for teaching their classes.
That's right. Is it just a conference call that allows like many people in, or
yeah, it's a conference call, video conferencing system.
And why have we never heard of it before now?
I used it 3 years ago. We used to use that all the time for our team meetings.
They're laughing now though, eh? Like, well, I mean in a whatever, you know what I mean. They're just like, it's so prevalent all of a sudden. Everybody's using Zoom that have never used it before.
A lot of companies used it before. Stuff like Skype sort of limits with your bandwidth how many people you can hop on at the same time, whereas Zoom has it's a one dial-in number. It just sends out a link. You click that link and it just pops every single person up on that screen.
Yeah.
So you can see everything that's going on. Some people clearly don't know that they're on video because there's been a number of people who goof off. There's people who set themselves as their background, so they just set themselves and then they leave, so the teacher thinks that they were there the whole time.
Oh my gosh!
I saw one the other day where some guy didn't realize his camera was on. He was walking around his apartment naked while listening to his lecture.
Oy.
So
it brings out all kinds. Let me tell you.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff like that going on. I mean, there's a ton of these Zoom backgrounds that you can get. If you have a green screen, you can set yourself up with a Zoom background. So you can set yourself. I've seen the office confessional area set up as the background.
Nice.
I saw one guy did his thing where he had a background that looked like he had just tons of toilet paper stacked behind him.
Well, that's
a hoard of toilet paper.
That wasn't fake.
That probably was.
That was real.
A toilet paper wall behind him. But yeah, there's been some fun stuff that I've seen with some of those things, and that's where we're at now. Is people are learning to, and that's where we've gotten to with this now. We're week 4, everybody's now getting to the adjusting to this is sort of regular life now. We don't go outside. We don't talk to people. We do all of our meetings on video conferencing and over the phone.
Going outside. Here's something weird, and I wish I knew what was going on. Okay, so when I wake up in the morning, I usually have notifications from my camera outside. And I just scroll through and see, what were the notifications, right? Yeah. And I noticed one of the notifications that was left there was a vehicle parked in front of my house. And I'm like, and I noticed I looked at it, it was like 5:30 in the morning. And so I opened up the feed because I have 10 days worth of history on it. And I go back, and at 5 o'clock, or no, 3:30 in the morning, 2 cars come driving down the street, turn around, and come up. One parks in front of my neighbor, one parks in front of me. And then a pickup truck comes along. The people from each of these cars get out, get in the pickup truck, and take off. The car is still out there right now at whatever time it is in the afternoon right now. It was there. It's been there since 5 or before that in the morning, parked in front of my house. And whoever owns this vehicle just got in another truck and drove off.
It's very odd, particularly since, right now you can't, like, if you're out right now in Ontario, they can pull you over, ask for your ID, and you can get fined $700 to $150 to $1,000
If you have
if you
multiple
are
people
found
in your car.
from different addresses,
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
because it's not following the quarantine, what is it, self distancing
Social distancing.
rules,
Yeah.
social distancing rules now. Like they're handing out fines for people. And listen, I think it sucks at a certain point, but I also think that if people can't learn to just stay inside, because we have so many people who are just going out to parks and going out, I've heard stories of people like going out to the supermarket and bringing their whole family with them.
Oh, I know. I've heard of Walmart's
Like,
actually been turning them away too. Like you don't
yeah, like,
need multiple people. You can, one person can come in. They've actually,
yeah,
at my wife's Walmart, they've limited the number of people. So there's actually a queue line with
yeah,
taped lines 6 feet apart. You have to stay 6 feet apart from the person in line, and they're only one out, one in. And
yeah.
if
I've
there's two
seen that.
people, if there's two people trying to get in together, it's like, nope, one of you. You do not need two people to go shopping.
Yeah, it's been a weird situation. I've driven past a Walmart a couple of times because there's a few things that I need, and I look at it's like it's a 45-minute wait to
Oh, I
get
go,
into the Walmart, and I'm
It's
like,
ridiculous.
I am not lining up. I mean, at some point in our lives, that'll be the new normal where we'll get used to lining up for stuff. But I don't want to line up for 45 minutes to get in
I don't
to
know
pick up one little thing.
I don't know if I want this to be the new normal.
No, I certainly don't. It is odd. It is weird. We are going to probably be doing this for another 2 months, it seems.
Yeah. But let's we could probably talk an
Oh, yeah,
entire hour about the quarantine, but let's not. This isn't the quarantine hour.
Yeah, let's talk some video games, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, that's a great idea, Tico.
Yes,
I'm glad you thought of that.
I thought of that one.
So last week, of course, I didn't have footage of the game I've been playing all week. This week, I do. Of course, I have some footage of Animal Crossing that I'll play while I talk. But I am still having an absolute fantastic time with this game. I realize the volume is really low on that video. Let me just bring it up because it's a lovely game. Listen, I've been playing Animal Crossing every single day, and not only that, but it's gotten to the point where every day after work, when Aria gets home from work, Aria and Dorothy come home about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Aria comes down to the theater here where I record, and we play Animal Crossing. And I'm telling you, by the time we realize what time it is, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours later. That's how, like,
wow. This
game is a time suck, right? It's a very simple game. Like, you just go and do what you want. I find it a very, very relaxing game because there is no go and do this. There's no missions, which goes completely against my philosophy of games. You know this, right?
Yeah.
I typically don't like the self-guided games, but there is something about Animal Crossing where, while it's not it's not fully self-guided, there are still things you kind of want to achieve.
It's like there's challenges.
You can achieve it at any pace you want. There is no time limit. If you're asked to go and prepare a campsite, and you're given something to because like I said last week, you can design the island how you want. So if you want the campsite in that exact spot, that's where you place the construction kit, right? And that's where it will be built. And then you can place inclines and staircases and bridges and stuff wherever you want to build up your own island. But what's neat about it is you do that at any pace you want, right? If I want to take a year to pay off that staircase, that's my prerogative. I don't have to pay for it all at once. I can do it at whatever I want. And I find this game so relaxing that I just looked at my time played, and over the last 14 days that it's been out, I have played an average of 4 hours a day, every single day. And I just find that when I sit down and play, I was playing with Glenn the other day. I was on his island, or he was on my island. I can't remember. We kind of go back and forth. But I'm playing it one night. I must have started playing around, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night after Dorothy had gone to bed. And Glenn's over on my island, and I look at the time. I'm like, oh crap, is it really 12:30 in the morning already? It's like, I gotta go to bed. I had no idea it was 2.5 hours later.
Yeah, some games can get you like that, where it's just because you're doing it, and particularly these games, because you're almost doing a lot of the stuff in the background as you watch TV or as you do stuff,
Wait,
because a lot of it is repetitive stuff.
You're talking to me, Chico. I don't watch TV while I'm playing this game. I'm actually playing this game on the TV.
So you're just staring at the screen. That is because I can see doing something like this in the background as I do other stuff.
No, see, I don't. I am literally full on playing this game for hours at a time. But what's great is, Aria comes down, she sits on the couch beside me with her Switch Lite. I'm playing it up on the screen. She sits right back. I can't even point. It's right back there. She sits right back there on the couch. And I'm beside her playing on the TV, and we're just talking. We're comparing, what's happening on my island, what's happening on hers. If there's something she needs, maybe I'll craft it for her, or if she's got clothes that I want in her store, but I don't have that, she'll pick them up for me and then come over and drop them off. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't explain why this game is so fun, but it really is. Like, it's such a time consumer. And it always has been. That's the kind of game it is, right? You're just going around fishing, picking up seashells, shooting balloons out of the sky. Right now there's an egg hunt going on for what they call Bunny Day, which is essentially Easter, right? And so now there's 6 different types of eggs you can find. So there's sky eggs, which come out of the balloons that you just saw on screen there. There's water eggs, which come out of the water. They look like fish, but when you fish them out, they're actually eggs. There's leaf eggs, come out of the trees. Wood eggs come from chopping trees. There's what else? Earth eggs, which come out of the ground like fossils. And then there's a whole bunch of recipes you can get during this 12 days from April 1st to April 12th. And if you craft every recipe that you find using those eggs, you get a bonus from Zipper T Bunny, which is the character that comes in for Bunny Day. So Animal Crossing is a real-time game. So typically when you do something, when you upgrade, when you want to build a new house, it's always the next real day. Right, so you'll put the plans down today, and it will be tomorrow, in real time, that it will be available to you. So everything's in real time. Even at sunset, the sky starts going into a sunset. It is real time, this game. You are literally playing it at whatever time of day it is for you, where you live, right? And it's really cool because, like I said, Aria comes home at 4. And we play till like 7, and during that time the sun's going down. It's becoming sunset, right? And then it becomes nighttime, and then sometimes you get shooting stars, and you can wish on the shooting stars and get star fragments, which is another thing you can collect. You know what? I could go on about this game forever because there's so much to do, but none of it is required. That's what's kind of neat about this game. You make what you want of this game.
So it's completely sandbox. You do whatever you want whenever you want. Do you have to maintain things like your flowers, for example? If you don't water them within a day, are they going to wither up and die? Or
I think they could, but I know they did in the old games. Whether they'll die in this one or not, I'm not sure. But what does happen in this one, if you do water them daily, they will multiply. They will crossbreed into breeds of flowers you can't buy. So there's only 6 different flowers that you can buy, and each island, depending on what island you get, you have a native flower. My particular flower is the wind flower. That's the native flower that I have on my island. Others might have a hyacinth or a lily or a mum. But if you take multiple flowers and plant them sort of on a diagonal to each other, then colors will mix. So like a yellow and a red beside each other makes will offspring into an orange flower, for example. A red and a white will offspring into a pink flower. But if you also put two different species of flowers together, you may get a third new type of flower. And that's what
neat.
watering does. Watering allows them to do that multiplication. If you don't water them, nothing happens. And maybe they shrivel up and die. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far. So yeah, that's Animal Crossing. It is literally a game that is what you make of it. Right? You do what you want. You can destroy the whole village by chopping every single tree down if that's what you want to do.
Can somebody else come into your land and ruin stuff?
Only if you can invite them in, and if you make them what they call a best friend, then they actually have access to your island. Right? So if you and I were playing together and I make you a best friend in the game,
I can trash the place.
then you could trash the place. But I could then also kick you out if you start trashing the place.
I mean, it would depend on how much, if you were looking, if you got distracted.
True. If you don't best friend someone, you can have anybody over, but if they're not best friends, they can't pick things up off the ground, they can't dig, they can't chop, they're not allowed to do anything except just sort of walk around. And I think they can, I think they can pick things up off the ground if you place it there for them. Right?
Okay. It reminds me a lot of that game I was playing on the Xbox, the Farm Together game.
Yeah. It is like a Farmville / Terraria / Minecraft, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's that style of go what you want, do what you want. It's your island. You make of it what you want to make of it. You design your house. You craft furniture. You put things in your house wherever you want. You can expand your house to different rooms. It costs money to do that, but you pay it off at whatever rate you want. And there's no time limit. You just do it at whatever pace you want to do it at. You talk to your residents, and the happier they are, the more things will happen in your town because the residents are happy. So that's Animal Crossing.
It seems interesting. I don't know if I'll ever get into this, but it does seem interesting. I think I would play it if there was a copy provided.
But you wouldn't play it at night because that's when the tarantulas come out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of tarantulas. Like that's a hard no for me on spiders.
I actually caught all the tarantulas so far. I've been catching whenever I see them, I catch them. And then the other day I was you can shake trees, and sometimes money will fall out of the tree, sometimes furniture will fall out of the tree, and sometimes the other day like a bug might fall out like on a web or something, and the other day a spider fell out, so I captured the spider and put it in the museum.
Why would you have a spider in there? That's just...
It's just wrong?
It's just wrong. Like, what is the matter with you people? Don't put spiders in your games.
Well,
don't. Don't.
Same reason you have any other bug in the game. Like a giant water bug that was flitting around the water, and I caught it. Anyway, I played another game. Speaking of water, it's funny because the next game is all about water. It's called In Other Waters. It is... I played this game for quite a while, and what's neat about the Switch is you can capture like 30-second intervals. So I just like every so often I'm like, okay, 30 more seconds, okay, 30 more seconds, right? And I just throw them all together into a little video that I can show you here. Okay, so this is called In Other Waters. It's available on the Switch and it's available on PC. And I am very confused by this game. So it's a very simple interface. It is literally like a computer UI screen is the game. And you as a player, it turns out, are this AI. You are the AI monitoring this diver and the diver's equipment, right? So you're the AI in the equipment. And so the diver's talking to you in text only. So there's a lot of reading on this game. And I guess you have to scan the area around where this diver is to find out where you can next direct the diver to go, like from a waypoint to waypoint. And then you can scan the fauna, you can scan the creatures to get more information about them. You can collect samples, but it's all done through this very simple interface, right? The interface, if you're watching on YouTube, that you're seeing right now, it never changes. This is the game.
This is the whole game.
This is the game. The only thing that changes really is what you're seeing in that center dial, which is where your diver is, right? Your diver is in the center of that dial at all times. I don't understand the point of the game. Other than the diver, I think, is searching for someone who has gone missing. But for all intents and purposes, there is nothing about this game that is overly interesting. It's like, I don't know why I would want to continue playing this game. I am not attached to this character. I'm not into what the plight of this character is. I don't care about whoever they're searching for. There is no voice. There's no major audio. It's literally very. I'm trying to think of it's all the sounds are just ambiance sounds, like water sort of thing, or the sounds of the equipment as it takes a sample. But there is nothing exciting about this game, and I don't quite get it. You know, I don't know what to say about it. It's very, very strange. It's called In Other Waters, and I don't really know what to make of it. And I honestly, after playing it for a while, I don't care.
It seems very odd. It does look like a very odd game. Like this to me seems like one of those cell phone games. Like, you know, you play this for 5 minutes at a time on your cell phone, you know, while you're waiting for somebody to come out of work, or while you're, just sitting around and you're a little bored. You play this for 5 minutes and then move on. It doesn't feel like a console game.
No.
Did this come out on
PC, Linux, and Switch only.
Okay.
Now I got to tell you, on the Switch, the controls are also what put me off, because it's one of those games where the controls aren't terrible. They're just not intuitive. So you're constantly looking at the screen. Wait, what button do I need to press again? I need to do what now? And I feel like they've mapped all the buttons to something different when they could have just been like one button based on context.
Yeah.
You're right? So you're constantly like, oh, nope, that's not the... Wait, what button do I need? Press that? No, that's the wrong button. Oh, I need to press this button. Oh, it's this stick? No, it's the left stick, or is it the right stick? It's literally, I was doing that the whole time. Constantly pressing the wrong button, moving the wrong stick, trying to, like, figuring out, wait, I don't remember what button I'm pressing again to do what I want to do. And I felt like that would have been so much easier to do if it was just context-based.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they've separated the dial which is the direction your character is going to go to the right stick, but then they have like the left stick, and then the right stick is your radar, which analyzes things. I'm like, you know what? If you could have just contextually changed it and made it all one stick.
Yeah. Like, when I'm aimed at this sort of thing, do this function. When I'm aimed at this thing, do this function.
Or or if I've selected this ability, then that's what I'm doing. I don't know. I can't recommend this game myself. I don't care about whatever the story is here. It didn't make any sense to me. I found the gameplay boring, and I had no idea what I was actually doing or why I was doing it. I felt like I was just following prompts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're just doing it for the sake of getting it over with, right?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, there's another waypoint. Okay, I'll go there. Oh, look, there's something to analyze. Okay, I'll analyze it. But there was no decision. I didn't make any decisions. I was literally connecting the dots. That's what it felt like. You know? Like, you know when you draw connect the dot drawing? It's like you have no choice. You go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. That's what this game felt like. Go from here to here, scan that. No, go from here to here, scan that. It's like, that's it. There was no decision making. It
feels a little boring to me. But what do I know?
It was definitely boring, my friend. Now I'll tell you what game wasn't boring. Let me tell you, I've been playing a lot of Switch games in my quarantine. This game is definitely not boring. This game will get your heart pumping. This is a game called Stela. And Stela is it's sort of like the game like Inside.
Yeah, Limbo
Or
inside
Limbo.
the.
You know, it's sort of I want to call it a color monochromatic game. So the screens you're playing on are sort of like all shades of one color, which is really cool. It's a really cool aesthetic, and the character movement feels very much like very fluid, very real, right? But you are Stela getting through this very weird mystical world. And you're trying to get through it, much like Limbo, much like Inside, where you're trying to get through this world without dying, without getting caught by, the antagonists.
Yeah.
And I always get protagonist, antagonist backwards, but
The bad guy.
yeah. And so there's these creatures in the first few levels that are chasing you if they see you, and they will chase you down and kill you. So you got to figure out, how do I get there? Or do something and block them from getting me, or I gotta hide from them, for example. Very realistic movements. Everything feels very fluid, very realistic. The music, when there's creatures on screen, is so ominous. It actually gets your heart pumping. And there are times when you literally just have to stop and wait.
Wait about those are the tall man look to those guys.
It's
are creepy.
kind of like Slender Man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like these Slender Man creatures, and I don't know what to make of them, but man, they move. When they move, they actually move on all fours, too, which makes it even more creepy. Beautiful aesthetic, beautiful music, really heart-pounding action. Like, the action you do is literally just running and interacting with objects. That is all you do. There's no fighting. You interact with objects, and you run.
Is this the same team? Is this Playdead?
No. Is it Playdead? I don't think so. It is, I believe Stela is by a team that used to work on Halo. Okay, so here's a description, actually, on Steam. Stela is a cinematic, atmospheric platformer about a young woman witnessing the final days of a mysterious ancient world. So that's what it's by Skybox Labs.
Yeah, retails Canadian $19.99. It looks like.
Yeah, it is fantastic. I really enjoy this game. I love the look of it. There's another level. It's sort of like a fire level that you get to, and again, because I mentioned it's very monochromatic, but the fire level goes from what you're seeing here as sort of these dark brownish, colors to more of like all tones of red.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It really casts an ominous feeling to the whole game.
These creatures, the way they stop, they're not just like walking back and forth. Like you saw that one there, just stopped and sort of like looked around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like they're creepy.
It is. I do like the look of this game. It does seem very interesting.
Yeah, I highly recommend Stela if you can check it out. And it's spelled Stela. It's really good. So at this point here, I'm getting into sort of the beginning of the fire stage, and of course every level always ends with this frantic run, right? You're always frantically running right at the end of the level. And you are running for your life, and let me tell you, while it's happening, your heart is pounding, and then it fades and moves on to the next thing.
So it's interesting. It looks like there's. I'm just looking at the Xbox version of this, and it looks like there's 2 pieces of DLC for it.
Really?
Yeah, there's a hidden areas piece of DLC and extended ending piece of DLC.
Oh, interesting.
Which are both shown as downloaded content with extra achievements for the Xbox people. So
is this game? I don't know whether or not it is, but is it part of Xbox Game Pass?
It is not.
Okay.
It is not, but it does seem like one that would be.
It does seem like one that would maybe eventually make its way there. You know what? If you see this game If you like the games like Limbo, like Inside, you definitely want to play Stella. It's fantastic. It's really well done, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing it on the Switch. I did receive this as a review copy on the Switch, and it looks fantastic.
Is it new to the Switch?
Yes, yeah. I think it just launched the end of March.
Yeah, it was October for the Xbox.
Okay, so this is new to the Switch then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. I highly recommend Stella. It's fantastic. So there you go. Though, like I said, I've played a lot of the Switch lately. That's kind of because I've been playing Animal Crossing, and then sometimes when I shut it down, it's like, oh well, I got the Switch open now, so I might as well play something else on the Switch.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been playing. Animal Crossing definitely worth playing if you're like that kind of game. Stella is absolutely worth playing on whatever platform you have. In Other Waters, I do not recommend. It's very weird unless you like that kind of weird, ambiguous style, game. It wasn't for me, and I just didn't enjoy it. That's my gaming, Tico.
That's it. That's it. That's all you.
That's my gaming, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, I mean, I didn't do too much gaming. I mean, I did a lot of gaming. It was just a lot of like back catalog stuff. I picked up some of my old easy achievement games. I finished off 3 or 4 of those.
Of course you did.
I'm here.
You may
Why
be
not?
quarantined. Doesn't mean you can't get achievement points.
Exactly. I did finish Mad Max. I got past that spot where I'd stopped last time.
Do we have to go through this again like we did last week?
Did we talk about this last week?
What is it with you and repeating everything from the week
before? Well, here's the thing. You and I have conversations throughout the week, and I can't remember when I've told you stuff and whether or not we've talked about it on this show or not.
Dude.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've done is I've just been going back in and playing older stuff just to clear out some of the
just so you can talk
the
about
back catalog. Yeah, I want to talk about stuff again. How about you tell me about some more stuff about games?
All right. Well, how about Phil Spencer talks about the Xbox Series X lineup, and what he is saying is that he doesn't believe that a new system needs a whole ton of day one game content. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
So I agree with because his statement is they don't need a bunch of new games because there's going to be a bunch of games that are going to be dropped day one from that are already out, like stuff like Cyberpunk are going to have an Xbox One X version. There's going to be Xbox One X versions of a lot of the stuff that we've currently got now that are going to be dropping. So he's saying that they don't need a lot of new titles. But I don't agree. If you are dropping a system, you need to have stuff for people to play. Because this is fully compatible with their back catalog, it's dropping with hundreds of games available for people to play.
And maybe that's where he's coming from. His statement is actually, for the momentum of the platform, it's not about any one day. It's about the sustained stream of great games coming from our first party and our third party partners. Now, the thing is, the only game Microsoft is launching is Halo Infinite for launch.
That's the only one that we know of right now. Part of this problem is there's E3 would have been a big platform for them as well as a lot of third parties to announce content coming out for the PlayStation 5 and for the Series 1X. Because that's not happening, we don't know when that those announcements and that content is going to be, and like we're going to hear about it. So there's stuff that is coming out. There's stuff that I'm sure that is going to be launching with it that we have not heard about yet. I'm sure they have some first party stuff. I would not be surprised to see a Forza or something like that coming out at launch with it.
I don't think we're going to see Forza this year.
I
Halo
don't know if we're going to see the console this year.
That's true too. That is true too. But Halo Infinite is supposed to launch day one. Cyberpunk should be out by then. Ubisoft's Gods and Monsters should be out. Then there's Lord of the Rings Gollum, which actually I'm not familiar with. Watch Dogs Legion is this year, right?
That was.
It was supposed to be October last year. When is it coming now?
It's supposed to be. I thought it got moved to March of this year, but
guess what? March is done. Okay, I'm gonna look it up real quick. Watch Dogs Legion release date is March 6th, 2020.
So they've missed that.
I don't think it's actually coming out on time.
I'm gonna go with you're probably accurate. Yeah, they moved it to a March release date, and obviously they've missed that.
What? Wait, what is going on with? Okay, this is bizarre. How have they not announced a new date for it though?
They may have. It just depends on if you've just looked up an article that may have an old date attached to
Well,
it.
this is the Wikipedia for it, which is what comes up when you type release date. So, okay, you support.ubisoft.com release date for Watch Dogs. What do they say now? Um, it just says in 2020.
So
So
they
great.
don't have no
Thank you.
release date yet.
Thanks, Ubisoft. That's great. And then there's also Senua's Raid or Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. I don't
Yes,
know if
which
that's a release date or not, but that looks unbelievable.
looks so good. That was they showed that one off at I think on their stage last year.
They did, and it looked like a movie. It was
Looked
so realistic.
so good, and so that one there would be my guess that it is a launch title
Yeah,
whenever it launches.
I would call these more launch window
Yeah,
titles, because there's always a launch window, not a launch day. I think Halo Infinite may be the only actual launch day title, other than things that are already out, like Cyberpunk, and
yeah.
maybe Watch Dogs if it's already out by then. So we'll see. But I do agree with you in that. I guess at this point, the Xbox Series X doesn't need a huge launch lineup because, like you said, it will play all Xbox One games.
Yeah.
So you've got all of your games already. It's not like you're buying a brand new system that only has Halo Infinite on it.
Well, that's it. I remember when I bought my first 360 and they had 7 or 8 titles out at launch with it. And remember looking at it, goes, okay, well, this one I like, this one
King
I like,
Kong.
but I think Cameo and
Yep.
Perfect Dark were
Cameo,
two
Perfect
on the.
Dark. I wasn't. I think King Kong was a release date, wasn't it? Release title.
It might have been. It might have been. I can't remember. It was that was an early title. I know that for
And
sure.
Avatar, the 2 minute 1000.
Yeah, that wasn't an early title though.
Oh, that was just
That
a really stupid 1000 gamer points.
Well, you know the story behind that.
No. There's a story behind why it's so easy?
Oh yeah. So what had happened with that game is it got leaked. The game itself got leaked early. Somebody stole the code from the publisher and leaked it online early. Due to that, they decided to change all of the achievements. So they had a full proper achievement list. But
Oh my
right before
gosh.
launch, they changed the achievements to those really super easy ones, not realizing there was going to be an easy glitch. In order to have anybody who popped any of those other achievements would have been automatically permabanned because they were playing a pirated copy of the
Oh
game.
no.
And so that's the reason for the easy achievement list. It wasn't a lot of thought put into it, but they didn't quite realize that glitch. You can run to the left and spam the button to get all your combos.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the reason for the easy achievement list on that.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. The other thing that's cool that Phil Spencer's been talking about for Xbox One or Xbox Series X is that he's saying that the xCloud on Series X makes sense because it lets people try more games, and I'm like, that seems like a given. I mean,
Yeah.
hello. So it sounds like xCloud is going to be available on the Series X. Maybe at launch. It's not really saying if it'll be available at launch, but I actually agree. Like, what he's saying is, right now the Xbox Game Pass, he sees a lot of people trying games they wouldn't normally buy, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it requires a download, so people are not trying as many simply because it requires download. But what they're seeing is, even in the beta for xCloud, is people are trying more games because there's no download required. You can just
The instant gratification of being,
yes,
I want to click this, it loads up. Not click this, wait for 40 gigs of this game to download,
right,
and then come back to it 2 hours later.
right. So they're able, an xCloud, you could just start a game and start playing, and I think it's great. I think xCloud definitely deserves or needs to be on Series X. I think it totally makes sense. You've got a powerful machine. Not
Yep.
that you need a powerful machine to play xCloud, but why not use their new technology on the new machine? Right?
I agree,
And I would,
Sean.
again, I still think eventually you're going to see Game Pass merge with xCloud, right? If you have a subscription to Game Pass, you'll be able to play those games through
Yeah.
xCloud.
You know, the greatest part of xCloud right now is being able to play your games from that are accessible on the go, considering none of us are allowed to leave our house.
Absolutely. But you can play them
So
on the go.
on the go, but
But don't go anywhere.
yeah, don't go anywhere. Maybe your backyard. Take your phone out to your backyard and
Well,
play.
now the weather's nicer. Get out, get
It's
some fresh
gorgeous.
air. Get some
It's
fresh
gorgeous out there. Yeah.
air. And on the Sony front, Sony has some great news. Oh wait, not so great news. The Last of Us Part 2, Tico, has been delayed yet again. Are
Yeah.
you surprised?
Not really. This one here was due to the coronavirus, allegedly.
Which seems weird that because I thought it was done. Honestly, I wasn't it coming soon? Like
So the game itself being done and whether their factory is able to actually press the discs or another story, and that may be what the delay is that the factory.
the letter was talking about squashing more bugs.
Oh,
It
well
was
then,
about
yeah.
doing final polish. I thought, and I'm thinking to myself, I thought the game was done. I thought it was coming out like really soon, but no, it's been delayed, and there is no new launch date for it. And I'm thinking to myself, PS5, anyone?
Yeah,
You know?
are they prepping this to be a launch title for the
Like,
PS5
Think
potential?
about this. This game came out just before the PS4 launched. Just before. Because then
Yeah.
as soon as it launched, I think it was maybe 6 months to a year before the PS4 it came out. And then PS4 came out and there was the definitive edition launched, right? And it was so close to the launch of PS4, so maybe it was within 6 months, that I felt that the definitive edition was actually the version they wanted to release at the time. So this is like the real version. This is how The Last of Us was intended to be experienced.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of seeing the same thing. We're seeing part 2 come out just before the next console. And I'm wondering, without them actually saying it, if this is a great way for them to say, you know what, let's just hold off and release it on the PS5 the way it's meant to be played.
I mean, the situation it is what it is right now too. Right now, they'd be digital only downloads because there's no stores where you could go in and pick this thing up. So maybe
Right.
it does make sense for them to hold off because the people who are not yet comfortable with that digital purchase, who want that physical copy, aren't going to be able to get one right now.
Right. And they do want it to come out simultaneously everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those games, I guess they don't want spoilers out there before some regions have been able to even get it.
Yeah.
Right. I get that because in today's connected world, it doesn't matter where you live. If you don't have the game, it's going to be spoiled for you. You know,
Right.
whether
And
you have access to the game or not.
Yeah, somebody's going to have played it. Somebody's going to be, oh, this is the ending, and it's going to be posted on social media somewhere, and you're going to be like, oh, well, that sucks. I guess I don't need to buy it now.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the series, although I do like what I've seen of the stealth aspects of Part 2. I like that it seems Part 2 is more about human enemies as opposed to the infected, which are just so freaky. I'd rather deal with human enemies than, the infected or the zombies and stuff. The unpredictable. You know
That's
what I mean?
we see in all these zombies things where the people are the true villain.
Just like you've mentioned
Walking
before
Dead.
in The Walking Dead. The real villain is not The Walking Dead. It's the people. It's the survivors. So
Exactly.
And speaking of Walking Dead, have you been watching any? Are you caught up? We got one
I'm
episode
caught up.
left.
We
right?
got one episode left in a couple of days before we get
so
that. So
good. I love where the season's going.
Yeah, we've got a new character into. I don't know if we do have to say spoilers. If people aren't.
Wait, do we have a new character?
Yeah, well, right at the end of the last episode.
The end of the
All right.
last
All
episode.
right.
Wait. No, the end of the last episode was Carol coming home.
All right. I'm going to give spoilers for a second here. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, you probably should have already been plugging your ears. But the group that is headed towards. They're going. It's King Ezekiel Eugene. They're heading towards the
Oh,
broadcast.
no. You're right. Right. That character that came out at the end
Yes,
and was like,
Princess.
"What's up?" And
Yeah,
I love the stuff she had going on. She had set up scenes with zombies. So
yeah.
awesome in
And
this
it's really
city.
reminiscent of I Am Legend. Will Smith setting up
Yes.
like the mannequins for that. She set up zombies basically in everyday scenes to sort of
Yeah.
recreate what normal life would be.
Yeah.
So
And so you know who this character is?
her name, I haven't read the comics. I know that character's name is Princess.
Okay. And
I don't know much about her.
is she crazy? Is she nuts? Like what? Or is she
Well,
just sort of by herself?
she's probably a little crazy. Probably a little nuts. You know what I loved about the last episode is the team up that I want to see as a whole spin-off.
Oh my gosh. Do you want
Negan and Daryl,
buddy
hanging
cop?
out, buddy cop. Like I would love to see like an A-team type of series, like just Walking Dead spin-off where it's them going from community to community and helping them solve their problems against some outside force, and
Negan
then like
style.
moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then moving on, and you have the good cop bad cop dynamic with the two of them. I would love to see that as just a spin-off series.
Oh man, Negan! I love the character of Negan. You know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays him so
He's
freaking well.
Yeah,
Ah,
he does such a great job with that character because he's a jerk that you want to hate and love at the same time. He is the perfect,
oh my gosh.
anti-villain.
Well, even his season where he was
Yeah.
the evil Negan,
He was the bad guy. Yeah.
you loved him. Like I
Mhm.
couldn't help but love Negan, no matter, even though he was the bad guy, right? He was that bad guy that I didn't want to see killed,
Yeah. Like
right?
he was so entertaining that you didn't want anything to happen to him. You wanted him to continue. The way he treats things and looks at life is just entertaining.
Oh yeah, yeah, and oh, I just love that character, and I'm so glad he's still in it. So I watched a couple movies this week. We've got like 10 minutes left, so I think we can
All
get
right.
through this. I watched a couple of movies. First was a movie I didn't even know was happening until I saw the trailer like a month or less than a month before it came out. It's called I Still Believe, and this is actually the true story of Jeremy Camp, who is a Christian music artist who actually is one of my favorite artists. And I've known his story for a while because I met him years ago, probably, I want to say like 10 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago. I saw him in concert, met him, and he tells his story at his concerts. And so I knew his story, but then they made a movie of it. Very similar to they made the movie about I Can Only Imagine, which is the story behind Mercy Me and the I Can Only Imagine song that was very, very popular about 10 years ago. But I Still Believe with AJ Appa, who is, what's his name on Riverdale? Archie. He plays Archie on Riverdale. He plays Jeremy Camp. What a fantastic movie, though. Like, it's really, really well done. Superbly acted, superbly written. And I just loved it. Like, I was absolutely loving the story. Like, I knew what was going to happen, but it was still a very emotional story to me, even though I already knew his story. You know, so fantastic though to kind of watch something and hear the music that you've been listening to for years, like being written on screen. You know what I mean?
It's always fun to watch one of these sort of true story movies about an event that you're familiar with.
Yes.
And to watch them, like, I know what happens next. I know what the end's going to be. I know how this is going to turn out. And to watch how they've decided to tell that story, where you're getting not only the story that you already know, but you're getting little bits of in-depth pieces. Like, I knew this happened. It's like, and then they explain why that happened. You sort of learn that as it goes. And it's really fun when you get a movie like that about something that you're already familiar with.
And even the music, though, what was great is they all sang the music. Like AJ was actually singing the songs that Jeremy wrote. It wasn't Jeremy. It wasn't a soundtrack. It was, well, I mean, it was actually AJ singing the songs in the soundtrack. Is what I mean. Really well done. But what I love too is these are songs I have listened to over the past 15 years, or forever, how long I've been listening to Jeremy Camp. And yeah, I think it's about 15 years that he started coming out. But to now kind of realize the history behind some of the songs that you never really, you didn't know that's where the song came from, it really shines a whole new light into the meaning of the song. That was what's fantastic about the movie I Still Believe. Absolutely great. Loved it. Loved it. And then we also watched The Call of the Wild, which is the Harrison Ford movie that's based on the Jack London novel of the same name. And it's like a CGI dog. But wow, this was a fun movie. This was a great movie. I loved it. It was really good. The CGI, the dog was very clearly CGI, but also extremely well done. Like, you knew it was CGI simply because of the way it was acting.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know it was CGI, you might actually think it was a real dog.
Yeah, we're going to watch this one with Leah soon. Shannon keeps saying, yeah, we got to watch that movie with Dennis Quaid. I'm like, what movie are you talking about? She's like,
Harrison
the one with the
Ford.
dog. And I'm like, that's Harrison Ford. And it's because Dennis Quaid was in the A Dog's Way Home.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another one with a CGI dog and stuff like that. But she keeps saying Dennis Quaid, and she's done it like 6 times now, which is hilarious because
That's great.
she keeps saying Dennis Quaid. I'm like, you mean Harrison Ford, right?
It's great. I loved it. I thought it was so well done. Like, seriously, I loved it. I would watch it again. I enjoyed it that much.
Well,
I mean, I would watch. I would watch I Still Believe again, but that's because I'm a fan of Jared McCann. So
yeah, we're gonna watch it soon. So I'll give you some information on how well we enjoyed it.
All right.
I started watching Ozark on Netflix.
How is that? I've never.
It's really good. It's just their 3rd season just came out, so I'm like, okay, it's popping up on the advertising. Everybody's telling me it's a great show. I'd never started it before. It's fantastic. It's Jason Bateman.
Yes.
As a money launderer who goes to the Ozarks to try to figure out how to save his family by laundering some money for some drug dealers, and it's got enough fun to it. It feels. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Justified.
No, I haven't.
Or Breaking Bad.
Tried watching Breaking Bad, couldn't watch it.
Okay, it's along those sort of lines. It's got some.
That's what it felt like to me, which is why I haven't given it a try.
Okay, I really enjoyed Breaking Bad and Justified. It's a fun vibe to it, and it's really good. I'm about 6 or 7 episodes in so far, so I'm going to keep watching that. We also binge watched the Tiger King documentary.
So has the rest of the world.
Yeah,
and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not even kidding, because the entire world binge watched that, and it's everywhere. It's like
it is.
I cannot go a day without hearing some kind of reference to Tiger King. So Dorothy and I sat down and watched one episode. And when that episode was done, we were like, I don't get it.
We've watched the whole thing, and we watched it all basically over a 3-day period. I was very entertained by it, but moreover as a piece of human psychology as to what is the matter with all of these people. There's nobody in this that comes across as decent people.
But I didn't find. No, I agree. I agree with your statement there. They don't come across as good people, any of them. But especially that one episode in, and that one lady's like, "We got to save all the cats from exploitation," and then she opens up her own park with all the cats she's stolen everywhere else.
Yeah,
how does that make
smaller
sense?
Cages.
In smaller, yeah. So, but anyway, we watched one episode, and what was it about that one episode that made you want to keep going, though? Because I don't feel like it made me want to keep going.
It was more. It's that car wreck on the side of the highway mentality.
Gotta know what happens next.
Like we're watching, it's like, okay, that was just messed up. What is the matter with these people? There's no way that these people could actually be like, and you've got to see what happens next. It's the same reason I think people watch Howard Stern. Again, traffic slows on the highway when there's a car accident. People they can't help but watch, and I think that's what it was.
Do you know I used to listen to Howard Stern every day on the way to work?
Yeah.
I did. I did. I used to listen to Howard Stern. I have his book, Private Parts. I've seen the movie Private Parts, which I think is really good. I love the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, he understands entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
He understands entertainment. But yeah, so this show, it's just such a weird thing, and your watch is like, is this an act? Is this guy just acting all nutso, or is he? And you just want to watch more to see where it goes. And so we watched the whole thing. The things that I find very entertaining is they are actually doing a limited series on Netflix based off of this, with people playing these parts. And I
Like
think
an
they're
actual,
doing it as
like a drama?
like a biopic. I don't know if it's. I think it's going to be it's a comedy biopic. Kate McKinnon has been cast as Carol Baskin.
So they're taking this real story that they just documented, and now they're going to do a show based on it.
Based off of, so apparently the show is going to be based off of season 2 of his video podcast that he did. So the events around season 2 of that.
Oh, okay.
And so but now there's actors all over Hollywood who are clamoring to play the parts
Of Joe Exotic?
of Joe Exotic, Dax Shepard, Ed Norton, Danny McBride, David
up.
Spade.
Oh
These
my
guys, all people
gosh.
they want to play this character. Jared Leto wants to play him.
Jared could play Joe Exotic.
Yeah. Well, and he apparently Jared had a viewing party for this where he dressed up as him to have a viewing party.
So
And
weird.
And it's fun because, again, I assume you've seen all of the fan castings for the stuff that are all over Facebook and stuff now too.
No, I actually haven't. It's just one of those things where I just hear it commented everywhere. You know, even in John Krasinski, who's been doing a SGN network on his Some Good News show while they're all in quarantine on YouTube, and he says, you know, as you put a pause in it was something he mentioned. You know, pause your as you're all watching Tiger King. Let's just look at some good news out there, and I'm like, what is this? This was before I even watched the first episode. It was like Tiger King this, Tiger King that. I saw a post that, you know, someone said if Trump wasn't president, he'd be Joe Exotic or something about, if he didn't grow up rich or something like that, he'd be Joe Exotic.
That is the same. It's the same mentality this guy has. And that's the thing. I think that they basically, you know, got lightning in a bottle with this series releasing at the same time that everybody was stuck in their houses.
Oh yeah, exactly.
I don't know if everybody wasn't stuck in their houses and basically forced to
yeah.
It may not have gotten this much of a following. We were very entertained by it. We watched the whole thing, like I said, in 3 days, all 8 episodes in 3 days, and we were very entertained by it.
I don't know, man.
It's very odd. It is very odd. You have to, you know, be a fan of the weird and obscure, because it is certainly that.
I suppose maybe I'll watch it on my own. I know there's no way Dorothy will watch more, but maybe I'll give it a try on my lunch hours or something. You know, now that most TV shows have ended.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous. There's some like weird stuff. Like at one point, like a guy like drives up in one of those little 3-wheel cars with a skeleton in the passenger seat, and nobody even questions it. It doesn't even get brought up. It just happens, and like that's how weird the rest of the show is. Is that seem normal?
Great.
So,
great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as normal, we're gonna end the show now.
What? Just like that?
Yes, but you can follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour, and you can follow me everywhere. I am Ziantane, Xiantayne. If you're playing Animal Crossing, you know, give me a shout out. Let's be friends and visit each other's islands. So give me a shout out. I'll give you my friend's code.
Yes, do that. Shout him out. I'm going to do my thing, but your thing wasn't in the notes, so now you threw me off. So now I'm going to say you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place. Goodbye.
That's just goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, fine. We'll be back maybe next week.
Maybe.
Okay, bye. Hey, Tico.
John.
Come over here. Come here. Come here. Tell people what they should do.
The buttons all over the screen. I think it says subscribe. It's probably below me. I don't know, but you should press it and then subscribe to the button.
And what about those things over there?
Over there?
Yeah.
The other videos?
Yeah.
They can check those out.
Check them out.
They can check them out.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye, guys.